Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And a few years ago, I watched for the very first time Return of the Living Dead, the original. I reviewed it on my channel. In fact, I might even post the link to that review in the comments below. But now I realize that I've never seen the sequel. So why not use this as an excuse to add movies to this list, fill this list out, and finally watched Return of the Living Dead Part 2. This is a 1988 film, the year I was born. So what took me so long to watch this? This is directed by Ken Weirderhorn. Weirderhorn? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's just how it looks to me. And to be honest, I probably should have done some sort of recap for the original movie because I barely remember it. I mean, I remember enjoying it. I remember having fun with it. I remember it being a little sillier than most zombie type films, especially the George Romero, like those original ones. But watching this, you see this, I think, brand new character, this little kid Jesse, who is being bullied by the Stephen King bullies. Just a bunch of kids who were being assholes to him, of course. They wind up at like some weird, random, abandoned place, and what do you know? It just so happens to have the gas stuff that I remember in the original movie. That's what killed everybody and turned them into zombies, right? Some weird experiment. So releasing this gas, these kids did, it's what causes the dead to come back. Not too hard to figure out this sequel, I guess, writer. And so it's basically this town having to deal with the dead coming back to life. You have some returning characters, mostly new characters. Let's just jump right into my thoughts of this movie. I did not love this film. I did not. I can definitely say, as far as I remember, I didn't enjoy this as much as I enjoyed the original. I'm not saying I hated it. It's not like I was sitting here hating it or angry. This won't be necessarily a rant. It's more of an apathetic type review. It's more of like I didn't feel a whole lot watching this movie. I wasn't scared at all, but I also didn't laugh at, I think, all of the points where I should have laughed or what they wanted me to laugh at. Let's jump to this main kid, Jesse. I will say this. This little kid that played Jesse, I thought he did a fairly decent job. He was far better than he probably had a right to be, given his age and given how silly this movie is. It's not like you're expecting this highly sophisticated or well-written young kid character. But I will say that when shit hit the fan, he was a semi-smart character. Even when he came back home, and I actually felt bad for him when his sister didn't believe a word he was saying. Granted, what he is saying is absurd, but of course we know he's telling the truth, and it kind of makes the sister seem like an asshole or a bitch, even though realistically, yes, you can see why she wouldn't believe him. But the moment when she locked him in his room and tied the doorknob with a rope to the staircase, I'm like, what the fuck? I know this is the 80s and you were pretty much able to do whatever the fuck you wanted back then, but that seems rather excessive. And then when he outsmarted her, Kevin McAllister style, by causing smoke to start up the fire alarm, she freaks out and opens his door and he just goes running out there to do what he wanted to do. I'm like, okay, this kid was smart. This kid actually got shit done. And there's another character named Tom Essex. He was like, he was supposed to repair maybe their cable or whatever. He comes over and he acts like he knows the sister, Lucy. He says he went to school with her. And basically the whole movie is like them eventually falling for each other. I didn't really care about any of that. I'm not saying I disliked them or hated them or that they were annoying. It just kind of felt like a forced relationship situation that I don't know if it necessarily had to be there. Now, there was a returning character I do remember is actually known to me for playing Tommy Jarvis in the Friday the 13th Jason Lives Part 6, my favorite Friday the 13th movie of all time. So obviously I am partial to this actor because I enjoy him as Tommy. He's my favorite Tommy. And I remember finding him somewhat amusing and entertaining in the first film. He's here just to be here, just because he's a familiar face, just because if you're watching this after watching the original, you're like, okay, I remember that guy. The other guy, Ed, with him, I don't remember if Ed was in the last movie. Maybe he was, and I'm just forgetting. But this actor that plays Ed was annoying as fuck. I'm sorry to the actor. I'm sure he's passed away by now, or if he's not, he's old as fuck. He was just annoying. The whole time I'm like, can he just get killed off? So that I can just stop seeing him whine and complain and carry on. Because it's annoying. And I'm just gonna, fuck it, I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of this shit. So, Ed and Joey, they accidentally breathed in some of the smoke when they went to the same place. And so, eventually, they get sick. And you pretty much realize what's happening to them. They both end up dying and becoming zombies. And I just felt like, what a fucking waste. Why bring Tommy Jarvis back just to kill him off in such a uneventful way, in an unceremonious way? I mean, I'm not saying he's Tommy Jarvis of this particular franchise, but it just felt like, well, if you wanted to bring him back to kill him, why not make his death kind of a bigger deal? He's with his girlfriend and he's sick, and she is driving in the car trying to, like, take him to the hospital or whatever, and he's, like, slowly dying, and then he just becomes a zombie. And I'm still not used to the zombies talking in this series. I remember they talked in the original movie, but still, they talked a lot here. Like, zombies are having full-blown conversations. In fact, when he becomes a zombie, he's flat out talking to his girlfriend like he's himself, but he just wants to eat her brains. And I'm like, I get it. The zombies here, they want brains, they eat brains. That's fine, whatever. But then, like, the girlfriend freaks out, runs away, runs to this area, to this building, and then he just comes in and he says, oh, come on, like, it's me. Let me just eat your brains. And she's just like, okay, fine, go ahead. And she just lets him eat her brains. And I'm like, what the fuck? And, like, I get that maybe that was the point. It's just a silly, dumb death, or a silly, dumb thing for her to do. Maybe she was supposed to be the dumb girlfriend. But, like, lame as fuck. This wasn't funny. This wasn't clever. This wasn't anything. It was a waste of time. Honestly, like, way to go. So I guess they wanted to pay more attention to the newer characters like Jesse and his sister and the new boyfriend, I guess. And it's all fine, it's all well and good, especially Jesse having to deal with one of the bully kids who now is a zombie, so he has to deal with him as he's trying to do whatever he's doing. I kind of like the element of the military blocking them off from leaving the town. It was fucked up. But how many times have you seen the military being used as, like, the outside force who's not here to help the civilians? They're not here to look after them. They're here to block them off and just contain everything, which is like, okay, but what if the whole town becomes zombies and now the threat is even more to deal with? Even, like, is this really the right way to go? Either way, I don't know. Maybe I was just not in the greatest mood. Maybe I wasn't in the right mood to enjoy this, but I really don't think this movie is that great. I don't think it's as good as that first one. I don't think it still has that level of satire and that level of, it just, the first movie seemed smarter. The first movie seemed like it kind of knew what it was doing a little more. It seemed a little more tongue-in-cheek and a lot more self-aware. This one just felt like, we're doing it because the other one was a hit. You know, like, it didn't feel Like, there was a good reason to do this. You had one scene with the slimy zombie, the one that the first movie, that look, the slimy zombie made famous. But the rest of the zombies, I gotta be honest, the effects, I know it's the 80s, I know it's not gonna be like super great, but some of them really didn't look that great, just looked like rubbery mask. And I get that this movie was probably cheaper, but it felt like Thriller. The music video had better effects for zombies. Either way, yeah, I know I'm kind of starting to shit on this more so than I said I would. Overall, kind of a waste of time. I mean, it's something that I don't feel like I had to watch. Now I can say I've seen it, but I'm probably going to forget about it by tomorrow, if I'm being honest. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen Return of the Living Dead Part 2. What did you think of it? Do you like it more than I do, or do you agree that it's just not all that great? There is a third one, and that would be interesting if I did rewatch that. Yes, I have seen the third one. I know it's odd. If I watch it and review it, I'll get to that story. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
These silent screams became a part of me. I'm moving past that. Please won't you free my soul? Can't hardly breathe in this society. I'm just an